afternoon, welcome to our Camnet Midday News, and my name is Amazing Katamanda. The headlines. DP President KALABA weighs in on drug shortages in hospitals. PF Vice President given LUBINDA nabbed for corruption.
Seeing the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Thank you for staying with us, and now the news in detail. The Anti-Corruption Commission Monday formally arrested Patriotic Front acting President given LUBINDA. Mr. LUBINDA, who has been charged with 5 counts of acquiring properties suspected to be proceeds of crime, has been released on bond.
Five counts, all of them about my account having so much dollars here, so many dollars, and so on. In one account, the same dollars are being counted, and they're saying this is proceeds of crime. So I want to go to court so the court we can go through how it is proceeds of crime. How many people in Zambia have dollars in their accounts? How many? Is being in possession of dollars in your account a crime? So we'll have to go and prove this in a critical environment, and I cannot but agree with President Edgar Chagolu. We go to bury Rupia Kwezanibanda and we call him a Democrat. We call him a reconciliator. We forget that a few years ago we were saying we cannot support Rupia Banda because he's a corrupt man. That is hypocrisy of the highest order. So yes, this is hypocrisy. We're living in a country of hypocrites. So all of you citizens, I want to assure you, when you hear this leadership say one thing, don't take it for granted. They told you they're reducing fuel. What happened? I told you within a week they will increase it, and indeed they did increase it. You must not buy everything they say, because they say one thing in the night and do the opposite in the day. They say one thing in the day and do the opposite in the night. This you have seen for yourselves today. Thank you.
Expected to be proceeds of crime. So the first one relates to a house in Kingsland. The second one relates to $100,000. The third one relates to $50,000. Fourth one to $80,000 and so on. So it's basically being found in possession of property suspected with proceeds of crime.
Government has been accused of risking people's lives for failing to provide drugs in hospitals. Opposition Democratic Party President KALABA is disappointed over the continued drug shortages in health facilities, a situation he has described as disheartening.
The government of the Republic of Zambia is working towards providing universal health coverage so that everyone has access to quality health care without having to face financial hardship. But this route has not been short of challenges, among them the issue of drug shortages. Democratic Party President KALABA Monday, who went to check on patients at the Challenge First Level Hospital to understand their challenges, is concerned that citizens are being prescribed medication at a time when people are struggling to cope with the high cost of living. This woman shared her experience, saying that she was not given medication for her child and that she was only told to buy amoxicillin.
chalisungusha sana mwana wa 6 months techano tablet nangu no nangu ni mwisho na uilete tano yapo so chalisungusha sana tuchipatala ubukuru itachukwetea moxil syrup bali ndembera moxil syrup na lichita enda pokea mkushita instead ya kusenda kuchipatala bombelepo impana domu chipatala file ile sangwe mitisha bana shifira shile sangwe mo especially ku bana abo bapose kwa mama abantu bengi bare ilishanya waipusha tawe na ineta kuli bandembere fiati nde yanshite abamone fintu na fishupa.
Surprising Mr. KALABA, who went to the farmers to check on the drug situation, inquired and was given a bottle which he later delivered to the woman, much to her excitement.
It's very sad.
But that also pointed out to the fact that there are inequalities at these health facilities. Mr. KALABA is concerned that the drug shortage is mainly affecting the vulnerable citizens.
And I'm saddened. I'm very saddened with what I found. You know, a situation where even basic medicines that one expects to find, you know, you can't get them here at Chilenje Hospital. If you can't get them here, what about in the far-flung areas? I think government must begin taking the health of our people very seriously. They have to really do everything they can do within their powers to ensure that drugs begin flowing here. Because it's like coming to the hospital now is not to get any medicine. It has to be told what you are suffering from, just to confirm that if you're well and iffy, go and buy the drugs. Now that is not the way we should proceed.
The opposition leader says the prevailing situation contradicts the aspirations of the United Party for National Development Administration of ensuring quality healthcare services.
Universal health coverage in such a sham way. You can't. We are far from it because I think we have not prioritized the health sector in this country. And at the end of the day, we are putting our health workers at risk because patients coming here are beginning to think it is the health workers who are not giving them medicines, and yet they just don't have. Or they are getting a prescriptions. Where is the money going to come from? I don't think we should be operating like that. That's not correct. It's very annoying, extremely annoying that we can be playing such shenanigans with our patients. I think we should drop it. So we are far from it. They promised that they are going to do, they'll take our health system seriously. There is nothing to show that they are taking our health system seriously. We have stayed for 6 months without drugs. How can we survive as a nation like that? How?
Notably, recently, Health Minister Sylvia Masebo, during a ministerial statement in Parliament, explained that it was due to changes in the supply system in view of cleaning up the sector to curb irregularities. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts Evans Nkandu has rubbished statements that National Youth Indaba that was recently held on the 10th March 2022 was simply a public stunt aimed at portraying the United Party for National Development UPND administration as one which is addressing concerns on youths in the country. In an exclusive interview with Camnet News, Mr. Nkandu says the ministry intends to go to all the 10 provinces of the country in order to identify potential that youths can engage in, stating that resources for the same are readily available.
Successive administrations in Zambia have made promises to address problems being faced by the youths, but the effectiveness of such programs has been questioned by stakeholders as most youths in the country continue to face problems like high unemployment levels. The country is one of the few around the world whose population is mostly made up of youths due to a low life expectancy, which currently stands at 47 years according to the World Health Organization. This has led to over half of Zambia's population being made up of youths, as documented by the United Nations Population Fund. As in other developing countries, a high number of youths are unemployed due to limited opportunities in the formal sector. Access to finance is also a challenge which has hindered many from venturing into business opportunities. The United Party for National Development UPND administration on 10th March 2022 held a national indaba aimed at hearing the challenges affecting youth in the country as one way of finding solutions to the same. Stakeholders, among them Democratic Party DP President Harry KALABA, have questioned the effectiveness of the indaba in comparison to similar programs in the past. Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Mr. Elvis Nkandu has however assured that issues talked about at the National Indaba will be effective in addressing problems affecting the youth.
That Indaba is now looking at the action plan, because we can't just take that as a social gathering. It was a gathering that should yield fruits. Which fruits? That should culminate into an action plan that we are doing this. And I believe, and I know that will be an annual event, because we need now to see what we've done in a previous year. If really what we had put in an action plan has been actualized. So that will be an annual event which the young people should know that it could be a platform where we need now to evaluate what has been done so far.
He says a program to visit all 10 provinces in the country has been put in place, which aims at identifying skills that youth can venture into in each province.
I still believe that it's not everyone, every person, or every young person who came to the Indaba. But when we get into the provinces, we'll be able to meet as many people as possible, as many young people as possible. So, yes, I want to confirm that we have a plan to get into provinces, and very soon you will see me now in provinces, and also get views from the young people of how best they want to be managed. It was not just only about empowerment. You are aware that some people are saying they need, at every decision-making structure, they need to be part. So we got some of those views, so that when we come up with an action plan, when we come up with a, in fact, I would say that they came up with a communique of demands, that this is what they want to be managed, this is what they want to be involved in, and also looking at the theme itself, enhancing youth participation at all levels of national development. We should actualize that in terms of whatever positions that we are coming up with, structures that we are coming up with, youth should also be part. So I think that is very, very important. So for me, people just need to appreciate. The problem that we have in this country is that when you are doing something good, there are also people that can turn a good thing into a bad thing.
Despite calls for Zambians to form cooperatives, if to stand a chance of benefiting from the increased Constituency Development Fund (CDF), youths have been calling for more opportunities, stating that CDF cannot account for all the youths in the country who are in need of empowerment. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The state has asked the Lusaka Magistrate Court to dismiss an application by the defense not to allow one of their clients, Wilson Lungu, to undergo trial in a matter in which he and 4 others allegedly failed to follow procedure in the procurement process of drugs by Honeybee Pharmacy. The state contends that the application should not be entertained, and the notice acquento availed by the defense was allegedly illegally issued.
It was a heated court session Monday morning at the Lusaka's Magistrate Court during the hearing of a case in which 5 Ministry of Health officials are accused of failing to abide by the guidelines relating to procurement during the purchasing of defective drugs, condoms and gloves which were supplied by Honeybee Pharmacy. Wilson Lungu, a chief purchasing and supplying officer, is jointly charged with 4 others, among them Daniel Makawa, a senior registrar surgery, Emmanuel Muwanga and Boyd Mwanachibala, both pharmacists, with 2 counts of willful failure to follow applicable procedure or guidelines. In this case, Mr. Lungu and the said 4 Ministry of Health officials are accused of willful failure to comply with applicable law and procedure in the supply and delivery of 22,500 health center kits by Honeybee Pharmacy. In the previous court session, Mr. Lungu's lawyers raised some preliminary issues questioning whether their client can be tried over the similar charges he was previously acquitted of by another magistrate. According to the submission before court, it indicates that Mr. Lungu was in January 2021 dragged to the Lusaka's Magistrate Court after a lawyer by the name of Joseph Chiwa filed a complaint. However, the same case was withdrawn by the said complainant on the same day, the 19th of January 2021. It is further said that the matter was then allocated to a different magistrate who then rendered a ruling on the 26th of January 2021 and acquitted him and others despite them not taking plea and the case even going to trial. In the said case, he was jointly charged with the former Minister of Health, Dr. Shitalu Chilufya, former Permanent Secretary for Administration, Kakulubelwa, and others with a similar offense of willful failure to comply with the law and applicable procedure, and were all acquitted without being put to trial on account that the complainant withdrew the complaint. Making their further submissions when the matter came up before Lusaka Magistrate Jennifer Walia, the state submitted that a perusal on the record does not show that the accused appeared before court nor pleaded to the charge. The state submits that the fact that the accused did not plead to the charge is in contravention of what the law provides. The state argues that this scenario was not in conformity with the provision of Section 201 of the Criminal Procedure Code, which requires that the court must be satisfied with sufficient grounds of permitting the complainant to withdraw his complaint. And in response to the state's argument, the defense have argued that the mandate in the application was not to test the illegality of the acquittal, but to ascertain whether an acquittal exists as a matter of fact. The state, on the other hand, have applied that the matter be referred to the Lusaka High Court to determine if the alleged notification of the acquittal was competently issued, since matters regarding the illegality of the acquittal can only be determined by the higher court, considering that the magistrate share equal authority. The matter has since been adjourned to April 1st, 2022 for ruling. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
This brings us to the end of our midday news, but before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. DP President KALABA weighs in on drug shortages in hospitals. PF Vice President given Lubinda nabbed for corruption. Thank you for watching our midday news. My name is Amazing Katamanda. Good afternoon.